We are Popcorn, Piss, and Vinegar, giving you a raw take on movies, television, and pop culture. My name's Chris.
I choose to be Scott.
I choose to be JB4.
That's it. Yeah, lots of choices.
Lots of choices.
Right?
Lots of choices, especially choices to decide like when to cut off the amount of fucking information about this shit we're about to talk about. But
I may redo this and do it. Choose to be Gary instead.
There you go. Okay.
no, some of Gary's choices I don't agree with.
I just spent the whole weekend with him, so.
Oh, cool, man. Oh, yeah. Why don't you plug that real quick, man, for our local listeners?
Rivertown Theaters, we're doing a play called Greater Tuna. It's about a little town in Tuna, Texas.
Cool.
Where the Lions Club is too liberal, and everybody loves Patsy Cline. Anyway, so it's a two-man show, and the Ginger and the Bee Band we're actually the band.
Oh, so you all are the house band. So I'm having to tell you have to play some honky tonk and Americana roots type music.
Absolutely do.
Oh, cool, man.
I can't get the stuff out of my head.
Well, that's good, man. Are the songs at least fun to play, or
They are.
Okay, well that's cool, man. That's good.
Is it going on this weekend too? This coming weekend?
It started this past weekend. So what was that? The 15th, 16th, 17th, something like that. What's today?
Today is the 14th.
All right, so it started on the 11th, 12th, 13th.
Okay.
It plays this weekend coming up, which is what, 17th, 18th, 19th, whatever.
Oh, I may come
It plays
see
this
it.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then it plays next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Held over, or that was the...
So that would be the 17th, 18th, and 19th would be...
Of this, and then the last weekend is through the 27th.
Cool.
Come out.
Nice.
That'll work, yeah. If
Get
you're
to see
local...
old Gary do his thing. They play like every character, so two people play like 50 characters.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh.
So you can check that out at the Rivertown Theaters. That's rivertowntheaters.com. You can do that with an R-E or an E-R. So, you can get your tickets and also pick your seating. It's almost like going to an AMC movie theater. So
I tell you probably get some good seats this Sunday.
Cool.
With the old Saints.
No one's going to be there.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, right, especially, because that Saints game, what is it, 2:00, so...
3:00.
But look, let's move on from that shit. We have so much to unpack with this thing.
Move on to the Bander.
But before we move on to there's going to be an episode. This episode is about Black Mirror Bandersnatch, which is a Netflix original movie. But before we move on to this, man, look, I'd like to thank everybody for listening to our first episode of the year of 2019. That was the Bird Box episode. We did get a little bit of criticism. And please forgive us because it is a new format, but not talking so much about the plot. I think we were so blown away by the phenomenon with social media on Bird Box, we kind of really skipped on some of the meat of the actual plot, but we're going to rectify that today. So first of all, let me just spew out a little bit of information here before the three of us jump on here. For those of you who don't know, and I'm just doing this for the benefit of, really for benefits of people who don't know what Black Mirror is, because John and I were in that number. We had no idea what Black Mirror was, and it was the Ginger that turned us on to this show, this wonderful, fantastic show. Bandersnatch, it's part of British television series Black Mirror, which aired originally on Channel 4 in England. The show was 2 seasons consisting of 5 episodes plus a Christmas special. The show gained such popularity on Netflix that it moved over to the service along with creator Charlie Brooker. Since then, 2 more seasons were added and expanded to 6 episodes each. Brooker and his producing partner Annabelle Jones said in an interview in 2016 that they wished to film alternate scenes to their Season 3 episode playtest, feeling that they dialed back on the horror and wished fans could have had some wall-breaking scenes to view alternate endings. This inspired Brooker and Jones to approach Netflix to use their interactive software used for children's programming such as Minecraft Story Mode to do a choose-your-own-adventure style movie. The logistics of making Bandersnatch led to the development of an all-new piece of software called Branch Manager that uses a device's cache to allow viewers to choose how a movie ends. An average viewing of Bandersnatch takes 90 minutes to watch, though there's a 40-minute version depending on the viewer's choices. There is 150 minutes of alternate footage in total and 5 golden eggs that gives viewers what Brooker considers optimum endings. The movie gives a short tutorial on how to choose scenes. Viewers have 10 seconds to make choices, or the movie picks a default progression. Viewers do have an option to view scenes Viewers do have an option to view scenes had they made a different choice, or can opt to go straight to the credits. The majority of the viewers gave positive reviews, but some felt the episode was too gimmicky for a Black Mirror episode. There was also negativity from some Netflix subscribers who learned that some equipment was not compatible with Branch Manager due to how it stores cache. The use of cache is what's necessary to make the movie seamlessly continue where the viewer makes choices. Apple TV and Google Apple TV and Google Chromecast users were locked out entirely, while older Fire Sticks didn't work either.
That was the first tutorial I got. You can't watch this. Sorry.
Yeah, I got it also. And I'm throwing this out before we move on to plot stuff. All this shit I'm unpacking here, we're gonna break down and talk about this stuff. If your device didn't work, you get a montage of characters from various episodes apologizing the feature would not play on a viewer's device. Modern game consoles, smart TVs, mobile devices are suggested to view the movie. Roku seemed to have the least amount of issues out of all of the HDMI-connected devices. The movie is based on a real-life event of the new video game also titled Bandersnatch that was to be released in the mid-'80s by Imagine Software based out of Liverpool. The game was going to utilize a new piece of hardware that expanded the base memory of a computer from 28K to 146K. However, the company went bankrupt before it was released. The name Bandersnatch refers to a mythical creature mentioned in Lewis Carroll's poems The Jabberwocky and The Hunting of the Snark. ChooseCo, LLC, is suing Netflix for the use of the term Choose Your Own Adventure. The company feels that the content of the movie is inappropriate for young viewers of their brand, and they hold intellectual ownership over the term. All right, so before we move on to plots, let's talk about all this shit.
They were the original company that put out those books in the 80s and the 90s that we all kind of fell in love with.
Yes. Right, ChooseCo, Choose Your Own Adventure, and they want to sue Netflix for the term Choose Your Own Adventure.
Correct.
Which, in my opinion, I mean, dude, look, if you want to be a bitch and sue over your intellectual property, I mean, fuck, that's a clear-cut one there. You know, I mean, especially, I mean, if you do agree with, you know, I mean, from what my understanding is, it goes deeper than inappropriate material. I heard that also read in some other articles that ChooseCo also was trying to work a deal with Netflix to use that term to market the movie, and Netflix went ahead without their permission or before they could finalize a deal. If that's the case, then they absolutely have the right to sue.
Right.
So,
I want to before we get into this.
I'm looking at John's thing, and we're right back again to the Star Trek fan film shit again. So
yeah, kind of.
John is for the artiste. Unless it was his, unless it was his intellectual property.
Are they going to go back in fucking time and sue people for having multiple choice tests? You know what I mean? Like,
it's the term "choose your own adventure."
The term, right? That's what it is. It's the term "choose your own adventure," and dude, it's synonymous with that brand.
It is.
I mean,
was it a brand you were familiar with?
Fucking
yes,
A.
Absolutely.
In the 80s, without question, absolutely.
I have libraries of those books. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
In fact,
and they were introduced to me by my friends, so it's not like I didn't Black Mirror this shit. They Black Mirrored me.
Right.
If you remember, in the 80s, you had any elementary school you went to, you had a book club that was called Troll.
Yep. Troll Scholastic.
Troll Scholastic would put out a little catalog where you could order books, and it was books that were geared toward young readers. At that time, naturally, when I was in school, it was Star Wars and He-Man and all that shit that was big. So they would put stories or books that were geared toward you buying that stuff. Well, Choose Your Own Adventure had like its own layout in the Troll Scholastic magazine. So yeah, it's big shit.
You would
back
get
then.
to a thing and it's like, turn to page 63, and you go to page 63, and you continue on.
I feel like this is analogous to the podcast lawsuit. Honestly, you know what I'm talking about? Look, it's Patent Trolls. Look up Patent Troll podcast. This outfit created a magazine subscription on tape, and they'd send it, and then they felt like they patented what became the podcast.
They didn't use the term podcast. Difference.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You're using the term. It's like me saying, okay, look, I'm going to create a space movie, and when I create the space movie, I'm going to use the term a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I mean, that's essentially what it is. So.
Okay.
So anyway, but I mean, we're arguing tit for tat. We got to get down to the real shit.
Yeah.
So let's first of all talk about Branch Manager, and let's talk about the shit that Brooker went through to make this thing possible. Branch Manager is the piece of software that they wrote to put this together, as we mentioned in the factoids here. I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised seeing how this worked, because when I kind of like really got into the mode of starting to watch it, and it kind of got the buzz out there as to what it was about. There was a game that came out in 1990s for PC, and it was the first kind of cinematic video game. It was called Wing Commander 3, and it starred Mark Hamill with a bunch of other character actors, most notably be Malcolm McDowell. The way it worked is that all of the cutscenes, they filmed it like a movie. Well, when you chose to interact with other characters, the screen would literally freeze, and then it would give you your choices, and you would click your choice with the mouse, and the character, of course, would say that dialogue, and you could see the interactions play out. This is literally the same thing. But what I thought was fucking cool is that this Branch Manager software, which is causing the conflicts with this different hardware, is that the scene actually caches. So what's fucking cool is that while you're watching this thing, it's still playing while you're waiting to make your choice. So when you make your choice, it is seamless. It is fucking cool. And for that, I have to say, man, very impressive.
What's kind of crazy is that it was based not based on, but the idea came from story mode, the Minecraft story mode stuff, and that stuff is not seamless. When you watch that, it's cutscenes. It's you make your choice, cut, go to the next scene, play it out, cut, go to the next scene, play it out. When I saw this, I was like, "Oh, this is the real thing." Like, no,
right? Well, and that's exactly it. And I think that was probably the reason when Brooker and Jones went and looked at Netflix, they were like, "Yeah, this is great technology that you guys have, but it isn't going to do what we wanted to do." Now, I think that if it would have did that, to where if it would have been the whole pause thing like we saw in the 90s and 80s video games, it would have probably been a cool thematic for what the story was about. But no. No. I like what they did. I mean, dude, look, we'll get into the content of the episode, but man, if this is what's going to be a platform to propel this type of entertainment into the future, they picked the perfect property. And on top of that also is the interface, the way this thing works, man, I couldn't ask for more. Big thumbs up on
Which
the
is
actual...
really funny, because you remember when initially you were having trouble with it, you were like, fuck this show.
Yeah, well,
whatever.
Well, I mean, I was really pissed off for the fact that I didn't think I'd be able to watch it,
Yeah.
because, man, I'm like, we're sitting here and we're like, dude, Black Mirror, it's like a flagship thing for us. Is one thing that we all agree on, that we all love. And, you know, when I'm sitting there, I mean, dude, I was literally pissed off. Like, I was fucking mad because nothing I had worked. The only thing I had that worked, what was funny, was my cell phone and also my Roku, my $15 Roku. It worked on perfect. Everything else in my house it didn't work on.
Right.
So
bizarre.
But yeah, I ended up watching it on my phone, which I thought would actually be a shitty experience. But to be honest with you, I quite enjoyed it.
That's cool as shit.
That is cool.
On your Beats earphones?
Put on my Beats, watch it on my phone, and what I liked also is I didn't have to fuck with a remote. It was all touchscreen. It gave me my options. I touched what I wanted, and it went right on ahead. It was great.
That in itself is an accomplishment, because your experience is different than my experience, where I just use a remote on my TV.
Yeah.
And I use the gaming. I have an Xbox One.
So different real experiences in one project.
Well, I will say, the cool thing about using a video game console is that the joystick would shake right before the choices came up.
Oh, that's cool.
That
It
is
was,
cool.
yeah. It's pretty rad.
So I mean, that is pretty awesome. You know, I mean, looking at it from that, man, it's an achievement. And you know, I was talking over to Zartome over at Not Real Radio, and he and I were lightly kind of gabbing about it. I didn't really want to give too much away because I've been really saving up everything for the show. But he told me, he said he was so blown away by it, he never wants to see anything else in this type of format again. I disagree. I mean, man, look, what I like about this, Black Mirror, if you're going to introduce this, you pick the perfect fucking thing. And what's great about it is that you pick something that was meta, something that is self-referential to the format and everything. Now that we got that out of our system, now I really want to see what they can do.
They are gonna. That is.
Fuck
they're moving
yes,
forward with that.
Absolutely, they are.
Yeah, I watched it with my girlfriend, and it was actually very fun. I'd be like, "Which is it? Should we kill him or not?" You know,
Yeah, I mean, this is the first.
funny numbers too.
This is the first, I guess, movie. I guess is. I mean, I'm 3 hours in research and I'm 3 hours in a viewing experience. I have a
Right.
6 hour investment in Bandersnatch,
Yeah.
which I'm okay with. So, anything that we want to add on that
On the back end?
on the back end of the tech and what it's used to put the show together? Or?
I'm cautiously optimistic about the tech, but I also feel like it could be a lot like Avatar was to 3D. Like it was this huge breakthrough, and then it just sort of became a lazy kind of add-on. And like I think the meta quality makes it difficult to divine how effective a storytelling device this will be without that quality.
That's fair,
You
and
know?
that's a very fair criticism.
I'll say this about the entire thing, and we can move forward from that.
Jury's out is
The
my
plot,
Yeah.
the plot of the actual show that we got to watch on paper is, it's okay.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
But
we're gonna.
what I'm saying is, but this technology made it. It brought it to life in a way that I don't think a regular 2D or a linear story would have done.
Yeah.
as
Oh
far
yeah.
as the
Oh
tech
no
wise.
doubt.
So
no doubt.
I'm on the tech side of this. I think it is a future. thing.
The last thing about the tech side of it and branch manager, and this is something that's just kind of related. Some fans were kind of a little annoyed because some of the fans were annoyed because they were expecting a full 5th season blowout of Black Mirror. Brooker said that is happening. In fact, Miley Cyrus was on Howard Stern, and she
Right.
said that she's in an episode.
Oh wow.
That's actually going to be released, I think, this year.
Yeah.
Sometime. They just don't have an official announcement.
I'll say this about that though. I spent 5 hours on it before I was finally like, all right, I'm done. I got to give up. But in that I would have spent 5 hours on a season alone anyway. So
Yeah.
if they called this season 5, I would be happy with that.
I love the way they did it. I
So
think it's
do I.
fantastic. Look, here's a Black Mirror movie. And now season 5 is like its own thing. I like that this is its own thing instead of being like, hey, we're going to release a season 5 and it is going to be an interactive episode. That's what we thought it was going to be.
Right.
Right.
But I love the fact that it's a movie and it's another Black Mirror thing to where I can sit there and I'm like, I want to watch Black Mirror. And I just want to sit there and just pop on a season and just watch it. And I can just, let it play in the background out, and I don't have to worry about this thing. If I want to revisit this thing, which actually I do want to revisit it at another time when I have more time. But
Right.
I do want to revisit this again. But I think it's fantastic. I mean, as far as the tech and all that shit. And not to worry, we are going to have our 5th season of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Let's get into the plot. The plot follows a computer programmer. Goes by the name of Stefan Butler.
Set in the 80s.
Yeah, it's set on July 9th of 1984, which is the day that it's the day after the Real Imagine software went out of business. So
Okay.
in real life.
yeah, in real life. So they took there's a lot of Easter egg stuff in here that deals with the actual situation that it was based on. There's a lot of Lewis Carroll Easter eggs, and there's also a lot of Black Mirror Easter eggs as well.
Sure.
But Stephen Butler's deal is that he teams up with a software company that's called TuckerSoft, and he is trying to determine whether he wants to receive aid or work on his video game Bandersnatch by himself.
He's going to receive aid. It's just a matter of he wants to partner with this company and they want to release the game.
Right. They want to release the game, but he wants to determine whether he actually wants hands-on help or if he wants to do it by himself. Now,
Correct.
these things are all based on choices, so I'm kind of giving you the linear path of things.
Yeah.
Because things change so much depending on what you decide. I mean, it's that detailed.
Not until after you go to the record store, though. Everything else is sort of, it's an aesthetic choice, I found.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're in the office and then you say, you say, okay, I'll get help instead of taking it home, it throws you back like it was a dream sequence
ends.
almost, and then it ends. So
Yeah, and like I'm saying, so much to unpack. What's crazy is that they're talking about, and I think that a lot of the episode here in the development is a lot of Brooker's own personality, developing a lot of Brooker's own experiences, developing this story and developing this movie came out in it. if you notice, there is a graph that or chart that Stefan he creates this flow chart of what all of the choices are and how everything leads back. Brooker, in an interview that I saw, said that same chart was basically making this movie. So those things kind of come back in. And what else is great too is that the reference of the actual bracket that creates the little forks in the road, so to speak, are the flow charts or the bracket themselves. The bracket symbol is the white bear symbol from season 1 or season 2. So the white bear episode deals with people who are being watched and choices that they're making are being watched by other individuals. So it's so fucking meta within it. It's incredible the level of detail that's in this thing. But Stefan ultimately makes a decision that he's going to work on this thing by himself, because if you decide that he gets help from Tuckersoft, it's actually the shortest route of the movie. It throws you back. It throws you back to where he works on it by himself.
Yeah.
Depending on where you go, eventually what happens is that through working on this game, he starts following the patterns of the author of Bandersnatch, the book, what he's basing this video game on. The author was driven so insane by the possibilities and all these different things.
Not Lewis Carroll.
No,
not Lewis Carroll. The author, Davies, is the name of the author in the show. Go ahead, Scott.
In the show, the Bandersnatch book is based on a minotaur, and basically you're going through a maze to find this minotaur in the center.
Yeah, it's named Pax, P-A-X, which is fucking frightening in that show. I saw it twice, and it made me jump twice. That son of a bitch. Get good jump scares on that on good old Pax there, but. Yeah. But yeah, the plot of Bandersnatch is that the book is that you're trying to find Pax. Depending on which you choose, it's revealed that his mother had a copy of Bandersnatch before she died. So he's kind of creating this video game to atone for her death.
Correct.
But he finds that the original author of the Bandersnatch book, who was Jerome Davies, went crazy and beheaded his wife, and he starts duplicating this behavior.
So basically, but you get that from Colin, who is the other software developer.
Depending on what you choose. I mean, that's the thing. There's some things to where if you don't choose to talk to the mother about the therapist, look, let me give you the linear, and then we'll start talking about divergent paths. We'll talk about the 5 eggs, which gives you the endings. But essentially what ends up happening is he's slowly driven insane, and that's where it leaves off when it comes to choices. Now, depending on where you've come from, depending on where you've chose to go, it gives you different things. We can start with the mother. I think
you should start with Colin, because he's the first person you meet at Tuckersoft, and he is essentially the golden child of Tuckersoft. He creates a game called Nosedive, and everyone's can't wait for this game to come out. And
I will say this about Colin, and you can't change my mind from this. The best character in the history of this series.
Oh, he's great.
Absolutely.
Hands down.
We can all agree with that.
You can take everything. He is the best character. And we've all kind of been delighted to know that Brooker said that since this character sees alternate realities and possibilities, he might appear in other episodes.
Well, that actor has been fucked with so badly on Twitter, he's stepped away from it for a
because while. Social media is fucking trash.
Yeah, it is. I loved that character, and I had a hard time killing him as one of the options.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time actually picking him to jump, but you have to make him jump to move forward.
And what's great is that what's cool about this thing is that based on what you choose, you can go to the end of the episode and you can say, okay, well, look, I just want to roll the credits and let it end. But you could sit there and pick things to where it allows you to rewind time and make different choices, because Colin tells you in the story, flashbacks are nothing but a window that allows you to step. It's a mirror that allows you to step through a mirror and make different choices. That's what it is. So what's great is every time if you go back, Colin becomes meta throughout the episode in the respect that he knows that he's met you already.
Not only that, but what's his name knows that he's like, oh, I've seen this before. I've seen this game before, or I've done this already.
There's a 10-minute clip that you can go on YouTube, and it's called Colin Being Meta, and it shows you everything. It goes to his scene, and when you watch it in order, it's pretty amazing to realize that he knows what's going on the entire time. In fact, he's kind of like the I guess the Deadpool of the Black Mirror universe. He's self-aware. He knows everything that's going on. He's breaking the fourth wall because he knows that he lives within this fucked up creation, and it's okay that he's going to die.
Right. Because
to him, it's nothing that he's just going to go and he's going to find another opportunity to come back some kind of other way.
Right.
So he realizes that he is eternal.
Going back to that tech side real fast, when you do make a choice or where you come back and you decide you want to take another path instead, what'll happen is you'll get like a minute, a 30-second to a minute, like what you missed or what just happened. So it brings you up to speed of the choice that you made.
Right.
And that
montage.
A montage, thank you. So the reason for the cache is what happens is you get to see all of your choices in order up until that point.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Every choice you make. So if you make different choices along the way, it caches all that back and shows you every scene you made, and it makes sense.
And that's what I'm saying. What makes this thing so... That's what makes it so great, is the fact that, man, it's the interface is what makes this thing. I don't know. I mean, but before we really move on with this thing, I mean, in the scope of Black Mirror episodes, what would you all rate this thing? Like, how would you all see it in the scope of everything you've seen?
I don't know. Out of 10 are we going, or out of 5?
Out of 10.
Out of 10?
No, we all 5 stars, man. Come on.
All right, 5
we're
stars.
still on the program.
I would say 4.
Yeah, me too.
Because the complete history of me is still blows my mind every time I see it, and it's what Black Mirror has embedded in my brain. Like that's Black Mirror to me.
See, this is what I was thinking about the other day that makes this show so fantastic, is that there has been so many great, mind-blowing episodes. It has set its own standard.
Right.
So when you watch other episodes within it, you're like, this is shit. But it's really not shit, because it's better than 90% of the fucking schlock you see on TV.
It's the Star Trek bar, you know?
Yeah. I've watched Black Mirror. I've watched every episode, and there's only one episode I can honestly say I sat back and watched. I was like, that was dog shit. One episode.
Was it the last one of season 1?
No, fuck no. It was the one with the soldier, with the black guy who was the soldier, and he thought that he was seeing.
Oh, really?
Wow. Yeah, I thought that was probably the shittiest episode out of all of them.
I thought it was the political CGI character. I just thought that was a dumb one.
I was like, that's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I get what it's trying. I guess the thing with it is, I get what it's trying to tell me.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, I think as far as a Black Mirror episode, I think that this sits in the higher range of the middle.
Oh, 100% agreed.
Yeah.
So you work for Tuckersoft, but you work at home. You end up doing the game on your own. You live with your dad. Let's not forget that. You live with your dad, because it's very important. Your mom is dead. You're seeing a therapist, which the show really wants you to talk about your mom.
Yeah, right.
Really
but that's what's crazy. If you make a decision not to talk about your mother, then you
then you just go off and it kind of ends. But they really, so you go back and you talk to your mom. You talk to the therapist about your mom, and then,
which is annoying if you've already talked to them about your mom and you just kind of want to skip that part. But
I've only watched it. I only watched it 2 real times.
Okay.
I was able to go back and back and back and back and kind of make choices up until the day.
The first time, other than a couple of cul-de-sacs, I got all the way to the end that didn't give me any kind of like wormhole back in. It was when he died because he took the train with his mom. They call that the optimum ending.
Yeah, some people believe that to be the optimum ending, and I'm going to go over what are called the 5 eggs is what Brooker has called them.
Well, I picked the right first egg. The first
one that I got is the one where he realizes that his life is really nothing but a scripted television show. That's the ending that I got initially at the first time.
Is that the one with the writer stabbing him?
No, that's
Okay.
I
didn't see that one.
I'm sorry. I'm wrong. I got the one where Colin's daughter is creating the Bandersnatch video.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one I got. That's
That's
lucky.
a good one. That's a good one.
I was lucky because the one I got the Pac-Man shit in the middle, and I was like,
Yeah,
"This
so
is
did I.
fucking brilliant."
Yeah.
You
When I
know,
heard-
which Pac-Man, just to spoil this for you guys, he says that Pac-Man is a guy who endlessly floats in a maze, who is doing nothing but consuming, that is chased by demons, and no matter which end of the maze he goes to, he finds himself back within the maze. And Pac-Man stands for programmed and control.
PAC.
PAC. So, or I'm sorry, program and consume.
Program and
is
consume,
right, is
right.
what it stands for. And that's where Colin basically tells you, hey, look, I know everything that's going on, and I know, look, all this stuff is all a bunch of bullshit. And if you want me to jump off of the fucking roof, it's no problem. I'm going to jump off of the roof, and because I'm going to be back one day.
They say this tripping balls, by the way.
Yeah, and they're tripping LSD like a motherfucker when they're doing this.
Hey, which music did you pick when you went to the...
I picked Thompson Twins.
Yeah, hands
Oh.
down. Yeah,
Which, by the way,
I picked Thompson Twins.
The only choice that doesn't affect the story is the cereal.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Just so
Well,
you know.
I picked Tangerine Dream. Is
I
what
picked
I'm talking
Tangerine
about.
Dream in the record store.
Yeah.
On the bus, I picked Thompson Twins.
So did I. And then I went back and when I started over, I picked the other one.
I always pick Thompson Twins, but I pick both.
So let me tell you all about the five, what they call the 5 golden eggs. Okay, these are the possible endings. You, the Netflix viewer, is controlling Stefan from the future. A fight erupts in Dr. Haynes' office, but Stefan jumps out of the window and being dragged away by his father while screaming about his 21st century friend. Also, the therapist is a huge Black Mirror Easter egg. It's a 2-for-1. The center that she works at is called the St. Juniper Clinic, which is San Junipero. Of
course.
And also her name is R. Haynes. That is Rollo Haynes, the curator of the Black Museum from season 4.
Oh, well, also...
So it could be his sister or it could be him.
The actress who plays her was also in Dark Place, which is one of my favorite little Channel 4 British shows. It's always good to see her still working.
Similar to the one we just mentioned, but if you choose to fight first and then jump out of the window, it's revealed that Stefan was an actor in a movie. He's called Mike instead of Fionn, which Fionn is the actual name of the actor. That's ending number 2. Ending number 3, Stefan kills his father and lies to the therapist about him being on holiday. He is allowed to meet the deadline and tells Haynes that he put in fewer options, making a player think that he had free will in the Bandersnatch game. And also, just to mention, the deadline that he's speaking of is that when he gets hired by Tuckersoft, or when he elects Tuckersoft to distribute his game, it takes place in July, but he has until September because they're trying to meet a Christmas deadline. In this ending, he actually hits his deadline.
That's the ending, but he goes to see his therapist, and
Let me finish.
Is that next?
Yeah, let me finish,
Okay.
and we'll go from there. All right, it jumps to present day where it's revealed that Stefan is in jail for murdering his father, and the game was pulled from shelves. Pearl Rittman, Colin's daughter, finds a copy of Bandersnatch in a crate and starts rebooting it for the Netflix streaming platform. She is shown working on the reboot and starts to duplicate Stefan's behavior and destroys her computer. That's ending number 3. Ending number 4, Stefan goes to jail whether he kills his father or Colin. Bandersnatch isn't released and Tuckersoft goes bankrupt. That's the only one that I didn't get through all of the choices.
I got that a
I didn't
lot.
see that
Well,
one.
there's 2 different endings there based on who you kill.
Right,
Correct,
exactly.
right? So-
Whether you kill Colin or Thankar, the CEO of Tuckersoft.
Right.
All right, and this is the last one, which some think is the true ending. Stefan steps through a mirror after retrieving his toy rabbit from his father's safe and dies with his mother in a train wreck. Earlier in the film, if you choose to have Stefan talk to Haynes about his mother, it's revealed that he caused his mother to be late while looking for his toy. She takes a late commuter train that's in a collision that kills her. It's also revealed that the Bandersnatch book also belonged to his mother, and Stefan is developing the game to atone for her death. So those are the 5 golden endings. Now, there's a super bonus egg ending, which this is kind of like the super bonus. A post-credit scene shows Stefan riding on a bus when he rides to Tuckersoft. Instead of popping a music cassette into his Walkman, it's a completed copy of the Bandersnatch game. It plays a strange minute-long static noise similar to old dial-up modems. Of course, internet nerds revealed that it's a digital signal from an old ZX Spectrum computer. Said individuals ran the audio through a ZX Spectrum emulator and rewarded with a QR code that led them to a Tuckersoft website, which shows off box art covers for games featured in the movie like Nosedive and Metalhead. Nosedive and Metalhead were Season 3 and Season 4 episode titles. Nosedive starred Bryce Dallas Howard, and Metalhead was the one with the Boston Dynamics dogs that were chasing down everybody.
Both same season.
Oh, both same season?
Yep.
But did you also notice?
No, Nosedive was 3. Metalhead was 4.
What-
All right, I'll challenge you on that after this is
All right.
over.
What I thought was interesting also is the interface of Nosedive kind of foreshadowed them jumping out of the building. You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of foreshadowing with that shit. It also heralds Bandersnatch as the game that transformed interactive entertainment forever. The big Easter egg is a downloadable copy of Nosedive that you can play through a Z Spectrum emulator. So if you download that to your phone, you can actually play Nosedive, which is like a little arcade style.
Yeah, I played it on my computer actually.
Cool.
Doesn't last long, but it's cool. It's a cool.
It's
little
cool.
bonus.
It's a cool fucking bonus, and I love the fact that when you get your QRC code, it has the white bear emblem in the QRC,
right?
which is awesome. I mean, dude, that's so cool, man.
You're right. Season 3. I'm sorry.
I know, man. I'm tired of being right.
Anyway.
So the director of this episode was David Slade. David Slade is known for 30 Days of Night. He's done some episodes of Breaking Bad. He did episodes of Hannibal. He also did American Gods, and he directed the Black Mirror episode Metalhead, which is the Boston Dynamics dog episode.
A lot of people shit on that episode.
You
I
should
liked
not. It is fucking great. That's
Yeah.
a great episode. Really good. The score was by Brian Reitzel. He also did Friday Night Lights. He did 30 Days of Night and American Gods. He was the composer. That's the most notable things that he was a composer on. So these guys have worked together in the past. So pretty cool shit. You know, I mean, as far as like all those little connections to the shit. So
there is another ending which I actually thought was the ending, and that's where he does kill his dad and admits to his therapist. The therapist asks his asks how are you doing with the game and everything like that, or how's life and with your dad, and it's much better now. And the last scene is him at the computer, and the shot is him at the computer with his dad's head on a desk or whatever in the background because he chopped him up. Obviously,
that's the scene before where he actually lies about him being on holiday.
Yeah, but that's how it ends, and
it
goes
is.
to credits.
It does.
There is no he goes to jail.
But when it goes to credits, though, depending on what ending you pick, it actually shows you the success that Bandersnatch had. They have a video game reviewer that's in the credits. He either gives it a big thumbs down, he gives it a thumbs in the middle, or he gives it a huge thumb up.
He gave it a 5-star.
He did. Yeah.
Right. The way that you get the 5-star ending is when he says to the therapist, look, how's the game going? It's going great. I took away a majority of the options, making people think they had free will. That's how you get that ending. So that's part of that. So
that's that shot, though.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is there's 5 principal endings. No matter what you pick, that's what it kind of goes to.
So did y'all get the ending where it's like a big government conspiracy?
I didn't see that.
He goes to unlock the safe.
See, but that's not an ending. But that's not an ending, though. The thing with it is that it's not an ending. It's a mid. That happens like in the middle of the movie.
That's not. No, it's not. It's absolutely not.
It's not the way it ends. There's a leading that leads to some of the endings. There's 3 things that you can do with the safe. There's 3 different codes you can put in. The first one is PAX, P-A-X, which leads you to a dream sequence. That basically you meet the PAX monster and it scares the fuck out of you.
Right.
Then there is PAX, P-A-C-S, which is the thing that Colin talks about. And that's the thing where the father works for the government and they've actually been surveilling you the entire time. Right. But that's not an ending. That leads you to an ending. That's like a piece. And then the other one is Toy. And Toy leads you to, you have the option to die with your mother. Right. So, or not. Oh.
There's
only 5 endings.
I don't know that you have the option not to.
Is that
Yeah,
the
yeah. You have
government
the option.
toy?
You have the option not to die. If you don't die, it leads to one of these other endings. There's 5 endings, no matter what.
Is that
It's
the
just-
government conspiracy you were talking about?
Yeah, that. Yeah,
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
put packs
Oh,
in the
yeah.
safe. Yeah,
Right.
that's not an ending.
I did. Yeah, yeah. I went there first.
Yeah, that's one of the multiple. That's one of the multiple forks in the road. That's how that all works. But yeah, these are the endings,
And
so to
so-
speak. You have to pick that to get to one of
Correct.
these endings.
Correct. Yeah. And Netflix, like I guess people didn't choose the book twice. I mean, not the book twice, the picture twice when he's looking on the desk or whatever like that.
Yeah, when he's looking at the desk, he has an option to look at a book or to look at a picture of his family photo. If you pick it up twice, the dream sequence that you get is Jerome Davies or Jerome F. Davies, the author of the Bandersnatch book in the show. He shows up in your dream and tries to stab you.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, okay.
And so I guess people didn't do that because Netflix is like, oh yeah, guess what, guys? Like,
Yeah,
just
I
within the
didn't-
last few days, they're like, there's another ending or there's another route.
Yeah,
you
there's
can
another
take.
sequence, right?
I did it only because I was trying to get to another part. And
Oh,
so I
okay.
did it again. And
So you accidentally found it.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't find that one.
Which means if Netflix is breadcrumbing that probably means they're getting a read on how many different endings and different things are happening.
Oh, absolutely, they
That's
can tell.
interesting.
Oh, yeah, I mean, because that's the whole thing. Remember the line from Ex Machina that Oscar Isaac tells Donald Gleason. He says, hey, look, social media was always asking you, what are you thinking? I didn't care about what you were thinking. I cared about how you think. And that's what all this is. And that's that's another grand experiment for Netflix. They want to see how you're thinking. What do you choose?
Which
I
is
mean,
fucked
dude,
because I felt
it's-
pretty shitty. Like when you got to kill your dad. Fuck.
Yeah.
I didn't
You
give
wanna
a
cut
fuck.
him
I
up?
didn't
Like-
really give a fuck about killing him, but like when I had to get the option to kill Colin, like when I had that option, I was like, kill Colin. I was like, dude, I can't kill him. I love him too much. My
Yeah, I
fucking
know.
conscience is gonna hurt me if I kill him. In fact, and that's probably why I didn't get the bankruptcy ending because I didn't kill him. In fact, I went on YouTube and watched his death scene,
Which was great.
which is pretty
Yeah.
fucking funny.
Yeah.
but I mean, but that's
he
the
basically
thing.
basically tutors the kid on how to kill him. It's like, wait, hold on, let's go over here.
Right.
Get a good shot in.
Yeah, don't. Yeah,
awesome.
Don't stab me and don't stab me. Hit me with this. It's a lot more of a distinguished death, you know.
Yeah.
The great in the beginning when you do the cereal and Dad's looking out the window yelling at the dog, "Get out the garden! Get that dog's
Yeah.
gonna be the death of me!"
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. And
Yep.
then the dog digs him up at the end.
Right.
Yeah, I also like when Colin walks in and he's got that real kind of British accent, So he walks in, he's like, "Fucking hell, mate!" He sees his whole,
Right.
sees his whole like graph of shit, of all of the different paths that you have to take with Bandersnatch, which is fucking great. But man, I keep going back to it. But man, dude, did you all in any of the sequences? Did you all see the Pax monster?
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
You
Well
see him,
done.
You get him twice.
Well done.
One's in a closet. One's in a hall. Not in a closet. Like on top of a. I guess the
Did you
desk,
shit
maybe.
yourself at least once when you saw the Pax monster?
I didn't know. I didn't know what
Man,
was
it
happening.
made me fucking
like,
jump. Boy, I jumped twice. I jumped once.
I jumped once, I remember.
That was fucking scary. They did a good job on that. So, well, yeah. I mean, we'll start wrapping it up here, but let's talk about the Easter eggs before we go. I tore all those out here for the.
God, I mean, that could
the
be
show.
an hour and a half just talking about those.
Well, here's the first one. Stefan has a rabbit toy, which symbolizes the white rabbit Alice chased into Wonderland.
Sure.
Alice in Wonderland is written by Lewis Carroll, so there's one. The movie takes place on July 9th, 1984. We mentioned this earlier, the day after Imagine Software went out of business. This is pictured on a Crash magazine cover, which also appeared in the Season 3 episode playtest. So they took that out and put that back in. Brooker based Jerome F. Davies on Philip K. Dick, who had drug problems and attempted to kill his wife. Authorial control and lack of free will is the central theme of Orwell's 1984, which is when the movie is set. Tucker saw video games, Nosedive, and Metalhead are titles of Season 3 and 4 Black Mirror episodes, the latter of which was directed by David Slate, who directed Bandersnatch. The therapist R. Haynes could be referenced to Rollo Haynes, the curator of the Black Museum in Season 4. Haynes works at the St. Juniper Clinic, which is referenced to the Season 3 episode San Junipero. And Brooker teased the way that we see Colin Rittman. We may see him in future episodes of the series since he's aware of alternate timelines, split paths, and other realities.
He's such a great character.
Yeah.
I think it would be really fucking cool to include that. They give us plenty of catnip to reference other episodes and things like that. I think it would be fucking great that maybe down the line he comes out and says, here he is. And here he is in an episode, and he gives the character some other kind of roadmap to this kind of shit,
It would
which
be
is
kind
really
of cool
cool
if he just appeared in different episodes and interacted and maybe not interacted, but kind of steered a particular character a particular way by just handing him a cigarette.
I think that would be. I think that would be good for one episode.
I think if they're going to do one episode, I understand they may be doing a sequel to the Star Trek spoof one.
Oh yeah.
That would be a good one for him to appear in, whether as a programmer or whether as a character in the ship in the simulation.
Yeah, that would be pretty
That'd
cool.
be a good one.
So
Good mashup.
USS Callister. I really
Yep,
really
that's the
enjoyed
one.
that episode.
Don't forget
so.
Metalhead.
Yeah.
The actual game.
Yeah.
poster.
Well, I said that earlier. Metalhead and Nosedive are season 3 and
Right.
season 4
Right,
episodes
right,
that are named as video games. So I mean, that's pretty much all the Easter eggs. I mean, the only one that I see is kind of a happy accident is that, well, this takes place in '84 and so does Orwell's '84. I kind of think that one's a happy accident. But,
Yeah.
But I mean, it is pretty cool that there's a lot of intersecting paths as far as that shit is concerned. So
Yeah, it's thought out. I mean, they did their homework, you know.
So out of the endings and out of all these things, and we'll wrap it up with this. I mean, first of all, do you guys thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, or thumbs down on the episode?
Oh, thumbs up. And I have to say, my favorite part was when you had an option when he said, when he's talking at the computer and he's getting messages and then you are in control of his message, and then it says, you know, how do you respond? And one of the responses is, you know, he says, what are you? And you say Netflix.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you start explaining what it is.
Streaming.
It's
from the
badass,
future.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was
loved it.
I thought that was well done and threw me off because when I saw the Netflix, because I read a little bit about the shit,
Right.
you know, accidents trying to make it work, you know. Well, this is this and this is that and all that stuff. And I hadn't read anything about the plot, but I read that in the thing it gives you an option to where you can continue the story to go back or you can go to credits. Well, when I got to the end and I saw Netflix, I was like, oh, that must be the thing the way you can go to the final credits. Ah, fuck it. Yeah, I'm ready. I hit it and it's like, no, it's you that's controlling him. And I was like, that's
Netflix?
fucking crazy.
What the fuck is Netflix?
I'm in this for another hour.
I was kind of bummed out when you get to the therapist scene and it's like, do you want to fight? Yeah, or fuck yeah. And
Yeah.
you fight either way.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that was extremely, that was my least favorite.
Yeah.
But hey, but look,
I loved it.
I mean, I loved it, but I wish I would have had a choice for yeah instead of the same as fuck yeah.
well, you had
Right.
yeah and fuck yeah, and there is a difference between them. The thing with it is that yeah gives you a different ending than fuck yeah does.
What does yeah give you?
Yeah gives you the gives you the whole thing of that I'm an actor.
Jumping out the window.
No.
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 Yes.
No, you have
Fuck yeah gives you I'm an actor in this thing. And no. Yeah gives you I'm an actor in this thing, and fuck yeah gives you he's being dragged away talking
right.
about his 21st century friend.
Exactly.
That's what that shit is.
That's at least that was my experience.
no. That's yeah and fuck yeah are both fights, and then there's the other option where you walk to the window and you leave.
right.
That's there's three options there.
All right. Well, maybe I'll have to watch it again.
Yeah, we have to. That's what I'm saying. It's confusing. I mean, I feel that I've probably seen 90% of what's there.
I finished it, and like I said, I finished it in about 5 hours, and I'm like, did I see everything? So I went on the internet, and I'm like, did I see everything? And somebody had already done a flow chart of every possible,
yeah.
and I'm like,
Really?
oh, I did.
Wow.
very
Oh, yeah,
good.
Fuck. Reddit had it fucking figured out like the next morning. You know, they had
And that's
all
when I
the
had
shit
watched
ready to
it.
go.
I was like, I was watching it at 9 a.m. and it was already a flow chart at noon. I'm like, where are these people at?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it's extremely well done. I can't recommend it enough. I mean, I recommend if you've never seen Black Mirror and you're listening to the show. I mean, if you've never just seen Black Mirror, watch it all. Watch
Right.
every bit of it.
It's a 21st century Twilight Zone.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I'd probably put it in easily probably the top 3 television shows I've ever seen.
wow.
Oh yeah, definitely. Without
Definitely in
question.
my top 10, without question.
Yeah, I'd say top 3. I love it that much. It's really, really well done. So,
I do like how Black Mirror is always talking about tech that's right in the near future, and this particular movie is about tech that was literally,
in
30 years,
decades ago.
Yeah.
But what's great about it is, it's talking about tech that was 30 years ago, but it's also talking about tech from right now because
Right.
it says that Netflix is controlling you. So
Right.
it's so
Right.
great.
And it
I
was.
mean, it's really, really
Truth
awesome.
in advertising.
Actually, from what I read, if you don't choose anything, I think Netflix automatically chooses.
whatever
Yes.
the default is.
Yeah,
every time.
Yeah, that's there is a default way to watch it to where if you just want to watch things and say, look, I don't want to choose anything. I want to watch it like a regular Black Mirror episode. Now, what I don't know, and this is something I have to look into, when you watch it every time, does it make different choices every time?
I think it. If you don't make a choice, it defaults to the same choice every time.
I think I'm going to watch it that way because I'm willing to bet that default way is that Brooker probably sat there and said, okay, look, if you watch it default, this is what I intended it to be.
Yeah.
And then, we'll give the players the choice, but, the viewers the choice. But if it was me,
I don't know that that's fair.
I don't know, man. I'd like to go look at it and see if that's
I
it.
think it's fair that gives him some agency as an artist to say
Sure.
this is what would have been my director's cut.
But it does it takes away that mystique of, well, I'll let the viewer be the judge.
No, it's an option.
Yeah.
It's an option like everything else.
Exactly.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I choose to let someone else choose it for me.
Exactly. I choose what you originally intended to show me, and now I'll
Yeah.
go make my own choices and I'll do my own thing. I think it's really great. There's honestly, there's a lot of properties that I think that are established properties that I think that this platform would work great for. I think
Like what?
I think the obvious one, very obvious
Bird
one,
Box?
Dungeons and Dragons. Nah, fuck no. Here's my Bird Box option. Turn it off.
Oh!
So there's all that bullshit.
There you go.
I think Dungeons and Dragons is a fucking no-brainer. I think that if they wanted to
Yeah,
go and try to
good
get a
point.
thing, I mean, dude, you're talking about the ultimate choose-your-own adventure.
Yeah,
The one to where it's
you're
not
right.
really in a book. The thing with it is that you get to choose whatever's created in your head.
You're not making a bunch of choices with no budget. Like this choose your own adventure was easy because it all took place
Hey, man,
with that minus CGI.
You
per
fucking
se.
you fucking drop your dick out and you fucking say, okay, look, we got the writers of Game of Thrones and we got all this shit. Hey, look, you're sitting there and you fucking stroking Netflix's dick all the time that they get the top shelf shit.
I do.
If they went and did this and they say, hey, look, Netflix is going to take a shot at Dungeons and Dragons, we're going to get top shelf talent and throw $100 million at this thing to make a choose your own adventure movie.
I'll tell you right now, another good.
Scott will give it 5 stars because it's on Netflix.
I will.
So I mean, there's one
When
right
you put
there.
Tom Cruise in it, I'll give it 6.5.
Absolutely.
I actually think The Matrix would make a great property to make a TV series.
Great call.
I think that'd be
Fantastic
awesome,
call.
wouldn't it?
Jeez, that would be fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
Fantastic call. I mean, dude, the obvious thing, do you take the red pill or do you take the blue pill?
Right.
And it goes back to the other thing as well. You're asking yourself, what would have happened if I took the blue pill?
Yep.
And that opens up its own possibilities and its own thing.
Reboot.
I mean, it's really fucking cool. I think that's another great one. I think those are 2 obvious ones. Then, I mean, dude, you could do the other ones. I mean, man, how fucking crazy would it be if somebody came in and said, we're going to do a fucking Indiana Jones adventure
Yeah.
like this?
That'd be pretty rad.
Or we're going to do Star Wars, or we're going to do He-Man, or we're going to do whatever it is.
I mean, you know what
That's
the theme park is? The theme park is this, the Star Wars Disneyland.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm thinking. I think definitely. I think Matrix is a fantastic call. D&D. What would you say, Scott? What's one you think would make a good
Live action Dragon's Lair.
Hey,
Remember
I
that?
mean, that's D&D.
That was the OG.
Ta-da! Yep.
D&D was the OG. But
Not
I mean,
on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. So I mean, so that's it. I mean, but even
I
if
love
I think
that
that's
game.
I think that's great. And hey, look, this branch manager thing. You might have something there because it may even sit there
It'd be
and say
cool to rework that game.
we could look at it like you could look at it like not only as an interactive movie, you could look at it as like it's a video game that's a movie and there's options.
Right.
And dude, if you go buy a fucking like Xbox Bluetooth controller that hooks to your device to where you can game and have the interactive shit to where we build those interactive controls in a gaming device, then there's that whole arena of everything. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, man. I mean, you got to come up with something that's going to make things different, and that's and it might, hey, look, that might be it. It might be the thing to where it's 3D, where you sit there and you're like, hey man, like it's like Avatar. It ended up kind of being the technology of diminished returns. But here's the thing. This might be something that's you might be on the cusp of something.
It's the basis for every other shitty. What was the word? 3D is this thing, or virtual reality is this thing. You put that choose your own adventure as a base, and then everything else is already cooler.
Are we going to get sued for saying choose your own adventure?
Yeah, that's it. We will get sued for that.
Yeah.
But look, to wrap this up, I mean, look, if choose your own adventure interactive Netflix movies end up being a huge fucking flop, at least we'll be able to sit there and say Black Mirror did it right, and Black Mirror was the best thing at the time and probably ever will be. The godfather of this technology.
Yeah. The yardstick by which all others will be measured.
Yep. Really cool shit. So anything to add?
No, other than I'm probably going to go see Scott's show at
Rivertown Theater?
Yeah.
When are you going to go?
Probably next weekend.
There it is.
Cool. I'll probably jump on that with you.
There you go.
To check with the missus and see what's going on. So
it's a fun time, y'all.
Definitely. All right. So, cool, man. Look, we appreciate you guys listening. Join our Facebook group. Also, subscribe over at iTunes. If you don't want to do iTunes and you just want to get you a good, quick listen while you're riding around, know that streaming is practically included in all packages now. So just jump on YouTube and check us out there. So 3 ways to get us. Join that group. We bullshit during the week. Share the news. If you want to listen to some movie news, some not real movie news, you can check out our sister show, brother and sister show, Not Real Radio, and also Scary Thoughts. Hey, thanks for listening and seeing.